Welcome to the Strategic Cybersecurity channel brought to you by NKFP. If you are new here, thanks for turning in. We are glad to have you. Today, our main focus is the trade landscape in Africa for banks. So, the trade landscape in Africa poses serious risk to the continuity and security of critical operation for banks. We are going to divide this trade landscape in 4 categories. The first one will be the cybersecurity threat. African banks, they are increasingly digitizing the service, which make them an attractive target for cyber criminal. Let's get this scenario. You can have, through a ransomware attacks, hacker can encrypt critical banking system and demand ransom. This will halt all digital operation of the bank. Huge impact. You can also have phishing and business email compromise. This can lead to unauthorized transaction and major financial loss. So basically, this can affect the confidentiality and the integrity of the financial records. You may also have this system, this critical system, the core banking system, that can be affected by breaches. So attacker can gain access to the back-end system, manipulate or erase transaction records. This would cripple service delivery and halt operation at those banks. We also have the third-party risk. Most of the times, banks rely on outsourced IT service provider or fintech partner. And sometimes this outsourced IT service provider or fintech operator, they don't have the same level of cybersecurity resilience or the same cybersecurity measure that are implemented by banks. Basically, this is the first category on the cybersecurity threat. The next category will be we can have operational disruption. Will be mostly due to weakness in infrastructure. Most of the time, in most countries in Africa, you have power outages, and frequent power cuts can impact data centers, ATMs, and branch operations, especially in rural or less developed areas, right? Also, internet and telecom reliabilities. So, unstable internet connection can halt mobile banking, interbank transfer, and customer service. I know many customers have already experienced it in many countries when they come and they say the service is not available, please wait for the internet connection to resume. You also have limited data redundancy. Many banks lack geographically separate data centers. So this is another segment area. So the operational disruption that can be due to a weakness infrastructure. You also have the regulatory and compliance risk. Banks have to be compliant with many security standards and local law implemented by various African countries. So compliance failure due to misunderstanding on changing regulations can lead to fines, or the bank can also be suspended. And one of the key areas we are seeing that's coming is the implementation of data protection for persons in Africa. And one of the key areas that banks should look for is the data localization, especially where the data has to be stored. So this can complicate cloud-based operation, basically, and data flow. And this will affect the agility of all digital banking solutions. Let's imagine that, for example, a law can require a bank to store the data locally. but the household fintech partner is storing the core banking application reside in another country. So this has to be relocated to the data center of the country. We also have insider threat and fraud. This is also on this threat landscape, we see most employee collusion or fraud. This is due to weak internal control that can lead to fraud, data leakage, or unauthorized access, and lack of skilled cybersecurity personnel. So banks, this is only for banks because this is a critical business issue in Africa and other parts of the world. The shortage of cybersecurity personnel is a business issue. And the last but not least, we can also have supply chain attack. For example, this can affect ATM and point of sale vulnerability, often due to third-party maintenance company who have inadequate security practice or a vendor compromise. So the banks working with compromised software vendor, it could be a mobile bank apps, can inadvertently introduce malware on the system. So we just extend, compared to the previous video of yesterday, the threat landscape and the impact that threat landscape can have on critical operation of the bank. This is to reiterate the fact that if the critical operation of the bank are halted or interrupted, bank are making less revenue, their reputation can be tarnished, and the real existence of the bank can be put on the table. And as we said, all this issue has to be addressed at the strategic level with an executive, a CISO, that understand the business, can speak both the technical and the business language, a person who can translate to the security and the business need, and translate the cybersecurity technical jargon to the business executive. And that person has to be an executive that is responsible for the cybersecurity strategy of the organization. And organization that are winning the cybersecurity game have this in common in their foundation. They have a strong asset inventory, a strong configuration management, and a strong change control. Thank you.